Fire in the hole.
All
We
right.
are live.
And as ready as we'll ever be. How are you guys?
Good. Last KD Live of 2020. I think everybody's ready to put 2020 in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's for sure. My family and I, we made some Christmas ornaments for some friends, and we used just a plastic like craft ball thing that opens up. We made them two-sided, two different pictures. One side says 2020 sucks, Merry Christmas. The other side says we miss you.
Hey, they are getting out of hand, and I don't care if there's any haters out there, but like I saw Christmas ornaments with masks on them. I was like, really? It's like, I get that. I mean, do you want to hang that next year, 2021 Christmas, hang that and say, wow, and remember that? I mean, I get it. There's a little comical factor to it, but, I'm waiting. You know how people drive around with like either a big red ball for Rudolph
they're gonna put
or
it
antlers
on
their car? Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to come out with a huge mask and put it on the front of their car.
We should do that.
That will, that'll go viral in like 2 minutes. As soon as you drive around a neighborhood with a big, huge mask around your car.
No, that won't go viral because it's wearing a mask.
No.
Get it when you need it. So you have
oh man.
The rearview mirrors on each side like ears. You got it. I mean, that's perfect.
Wow. Well, guys, speaking of the season of giving gifts and, just having fun with things, a new toy is now on the market. And that is our KDCam, which is a screen, a camera control software. I'm going to go ahead and begin a screen share, guys. It's a camera control software. You could actually see a full-size view of it right now. There's other sizes available, small, or you could just customize it. Well, we're going to give you the full rundown, but you're probably going to want to download it first. And the place to do that is actually, I opened up a web browser. I'm just so used to downloading things from our website, but this is a little different. It's the Microsoft Store. So,
and how much does this app cost, Jonathan?
I'm glad you asked that, Dwayne, because the cost of this app is free 99, and that's US dollars, euros, pesos. Free 99 does not matter. And
Scott and I on here, we're going to even discount that 99 cents off of there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, free. FREE, my favorite 4-letter F word. I'm not saying the others because I want to be a good boy and on the nice list. So here we are. I typed in KDCam. You see it right here. I've already got it. But you could see in the Microsoft Store, basically Microsoft doing something similar to the App Store that we're accustomed to seeing in Apple these days. And you've got your description of everything. And there's even some screenshots and whatnot of the app description.
So John, does this, do you have to have a separate connection for this to control the camera?
Oh, that's a good question. So no, because you see like the PTZ controls that are there, and you may have seen them before. So you download it. It's a real fast download. Scott, you're coming in hot there a little bit again, but I think.
Yep, sorry about that.
That's okay. I think it kind of when a real subtle sound comes, your audio focuses in on that somehow. But no worries. So, in the previous episodes of KD Live, Coffee with Key, webinars that you might have seen the three of us doing or our other colleagues, we're using our KDCam USB. And we've been using it a lot with the IR remote control that comes with it, or we're using it with the KeyDigital app, but that requires additional hardware. The IR remote, sometimes you don't have the remote with you. And KDCam is actually control over USB. So right now you guys should see I'm back in the software, right? And if I need to, if I'd like to do some zooming or pan and tilting, and let's see, mayhaps I'll be able, I don't really have a lot of light. Oh man, here's an Easter egg for you guys that saw my Nick Cage pillow a few months back. Yes, we do have a Nick Cage ornament as well. No Christmas tree is
Complete without one.
complete without a Nick Cage ornament.
I do not see a 2020 mask ornament on there, so you need to make sure you get those on there.
What kind of ornament was it? Sorry.
The masked ornament, Scott.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So now you're looking at it in full screen, and you might say, "Oh, that's a little annoying. I want to have a Zoom session in full screen if I'm not the one sharing the screen." Or mayhaps I don't want to see everything that's here. What we do have here, and so you could adjust that in the settings. But actually, before I jump into settings, you may have seen me clicking the pan, tilt, up, down, left, right, zoom in, zoom out, of course. You have the privacy and the home buttons. We've already explained that. And then you have some preset controls here. And so if I want to just head over to a different place, preset 1, 2, I didn't really optimize those before. There you go, Dwayne. Thank you. His are looking a lot more prepared than mine. But let's say actually that that preset 1 was almost where I wanted it to be. I'd like it to be here instead. I can go ahead and press this button, which is the star plus, to write this as the new preset or value for preset 1. So I head back to home and then over to preset 1, and just as I had previously written it. So we're familiar with a lot of these concepts, and that's how you do these concepts you're familiar with. What else we have here in the settings, you have your camera select. I'm currently in PTZ control only. Now, actually, I'm using my Cam USB in Zoom. And of course, it's kind of a computer limitation. You can't use the camera in multiple softwares at the same time. So let's say this is what we want it for, exactly like what Dwayne's doing there. I can just, I can have it in PTZ control only. And I can press this button, small PTZ panel. And that gives me this consolidated view, in fact, of the PTZ control. Let me go back to a fuller screen. Small PTZ panel is how we do that. And now you could also adjust your resolution for the camera. There is lower thirds, which we'll get into in a moment, but that's how you get a really nice professional, like you could put some text or even import an image. So you could get really fancy if you'd like. Show PTZ control, we could get rid of that, and now that goes away. And in fact, you might want to do that from time to time. Dwayne has a scenario that he's used, and I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share now. Dwayne, I kind of walked a little bit further into your presentation than I was thinking. So, but that's what makes us the Fab Three from KD. We could just, you could pick up what I'm putting down, my man. So Dwayne here has a scenario that he's been using. You want to take it from here, Dwayne?
I believe this is the one I want right here. So now, can you see my control at this point?
Yes, I can.
So I can also do this, and this works well if you're doing webinars or something like that, where if I wanted to go in for a second and stop my video in Zoom, and then, as you mentioned a while ago, pop it in here and go full screen. Now I'm presenting, and I've got my control here if you want that. If you don't, you don't have to. But as Jonathan said, hit your presets. There's, I've got several set up here. et cetera, et cetera. Sorry, I didn't clean up the office before this meeting. But so you can do all that, or we can go back and go to PTZ only again, as Jonathan mentioned. And then I can turn my video back on in Zoom. And so over here, Jonathan mentioned.
Yeah, do us a favor here, actually, Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
What I'd like you to do actually is take this camera back. So stop your share, or stop your video in Zoom, please.
Okay. Give me a second. Oh, stop my video in Zoom. Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir.
You tell me to do one thing, I do it what you say.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. All right. And so no video in Zoom. Very good. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and camera select and choose the USB camera.
Okay.
Great, cam USB, great. Now let's go ahead and where we have show PTZ control, that blue checkbox, go ahead and turn that off. And now if you had, now minimize those settings, or yes, perfect. And now what you do is, one more thing, back to the settings, sorry. There's one more right next to it was hide settings button. Perfect, and now back. And last step here, Dwayne, is to just double click in anywhere in the video space. You got it, my man.
Yep.
And now this is a perfect way to have a full screen view for the lower thirds. So here's the concept, right? If you have a keynote speech that you want to give and have an official title there, you want to go back to the lower thirds. Now, how do you do that, Dwayne? Hover your mouse right back over where the settings gear was.
Okay, so.
Yep, so hover that and press the button. Yes, sir. And turn on lower thirds.
Hit the wrong button. There we go.
Ooh, what is this?
Yeah, how about that? Did you know you could do that? Learn something new every day here at KeyDigital. So
wow.
That's what I was hoping to do. So there.
Yeah, you can add that on there. Now your settings button has become the middle.
Right.
So here's one.
Well,
here's one thing I want.
Okay. Yes, Scott. Sorry.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and I've done this so many times. So instant reaction, right? And I know Dwayne keeps on doing it and then correcting himself. Is when you go back up to that settings tab, Dwayne, and bring up, just open it up real quick. So you always want to use the back arrow, because your first reaction is the exit. If you click exit, it will close the app. I don't know how many times I did that. So it's like a force of habit. You got to make sure that you use back arrow and not the exit key, because exit key will close the app itself. But it took me like a week when I was playing around with the app when we had the prototypes. I kept on closing it out. And I was like, dang it. I was like, where'd everybody go? You know?
Yeah, and one thing to notice here is, whoops, I thought I had it back there. So small PTZ panel. So Jonathan, you were talking about the pan and tilt. Another setting you can do in there is you can change the speed.
Correct.
That's when you're on the fly. So I'll go with, and now you see it's a lot slower.
Yeah, you could do the sneak
That does
attack.
on the presets, but it does do it on the fly, which is really nice. Sometimes if you are wanting to do live PTZ, I think it comes to 3.
Jonathan started dancing in there. I don't know what he's doing. He's back.
Battery was running low there. Sorry.
Well, he's excited about seeing the small control panel here, so you can.
Yeah.
You got your controls there. Now, I think, Jonathan, you were wanting to get into the lower thirds.
Yeah,
maybe?
can you enable that for us, please, sir?
First you go into it, and I'll set my text with my name and my title. So if we go back and then we enable that, there you go. Now,
Impressive.
Wow.
very impressive, great for a webinar, and then
Yeah, I think especially if you have, so, you know, just to be clear, this is not, you know, the lower thirds is more for a software outside of Zoom, for example. You know, if you have a keynote, for example, and it's really just about the speaker, not so much, because what we're actually doing is a screen share with the KDCam in full screen.
Right.
So it's almost like spotlighting video, you know?
Yep.
And so now we've been working, and this is fine. This is great for a lot of professional companies that are doing a lot of these online keynotes now, whereas previously companies would be flying in employees from all over the world or the country to take part of the yearly sales meeting at the end of the year kind of thing. This is a real level up to that. And it's up to 2 lines of text with
or you can go to the image, which the default image in there I think is actually, and you can add your own image.
Yes.
When that happens, you see here we've got Jonathan Ferry spread across. So you can add your own image, which goes, and it can be, it's a PNG, so you can have transparency on that image as well as you see that here on the right.
And Dwayne, head back to the settings for me. So I don't know if you've messed with this much, but you know, all of us are probably seeing it looks a little squished. So go to those lower thirds settings, and we go to lower thirds height properties, the second drop down.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yep. And you can make that, I think around, yeah, there you go. Like 20% is probably where this image was looking native.
If you wanted to kind of do it then.
So
there you go.
Yeah, like when I was playing around with it, it takes a little bit of creativity, and then once you know where that's going to line up, like even on our broadcast. So on Facebook Live right now, everybody's going to see that Zoom logo, you know. So then it's kind of, you know, whatever, 1/4 inch up, but you could dial that in and.
So there you go. So.
Nice. And yeah, because you know the software itself, you can do again 2 lines of text. You could have that semi-transparent gray box behind it, and you could have it either top aligned, bottom left aligned, or bottom center aligned, and then you could adjust the sizing. But you know, in speaking with some folks who work a little more regularly with lower thirds and needing that for you know, some really professional looking appearance of the speaker. Sometimes you want to have multiple fonts, you want to have multiple font size and colors, and you.
Uh-oh. We just lost Mr. Ferry.
We lost Mr. Ferry.
He is gone, never to return. No, he'll be back on here in just a minute.
He went into the low battery black hole. I saw him jump around before and plug it in. Maybe he didn't plug it into an outlet that was live.
So I do apologize, as this is a fresh new item that we have just introduced from KeyDigital. So we're still learning some of the great features of it.
Yeah.
You know, and as you see, I'm presenting now by doing a screen share. There's going to be further developments where we can hopefully lay it over and things of that nature in a Zoom meeting or a GoToMeeting or something of that nature. But as you can see, very easy to use. You can run it. I love that the small PTZ popping in there. So, you know, people, we can demo right there. You can go from shot to shot and they can see how easy that is. Or, you know, you can zoom out, zoom in, etc. And so that's awesome. And so Scott, what do you have that you wanted to? I'm gonna stop my screen share now. I'm still on there. Do you still see me screen sharing?
You're still screen sharing now.
Okay.
And then you just got to switch it back over so you go back to your main one.
There it is. Stop.
I'm just trying to keep an eye out for whatchamacallit to try to jump back in. So, I mean, it being free, adding a little bit of excitement to everything across Zoom calls, creativity, or whatever. So, I mean, for free software, I mean, there's tons of other free softwares out there. So kind of unique. Oops, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Let me let Jonathan in real quick again. So.
But the other thing is, I know Right now, it's only available from Windows for the
Correct.
PC application, but we are working on getting it ready for Mac as well,
Yeah.
and other platforms. So, amazing. And the KDCam app is not what knocked Jonathan off. It's the snowstorm coming into New Jersey, I believe. Probably what knocked him off.
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir.
User error.
Or that. I was trying to cover for you, Jonathan.
Yeah, no, that's okay. It's been one of those days where you plug in your laptop, but I had to grab an extension cord, and that's why I was walking all around earlier, and I forgot that it was in the off position, you know, the power strips. So.
I totally called it. I was like, he was scrambled. I bet you he plugged it in to something that wasn't live.
Yeah.
But when you ditched, when you had dropped out, we went over a couple different things, and just, you know, having a free benefit, free software's out there to be able to mix it up. I mean, everybody's kind of getting bored with the same Zoom aspect, and not having additional, you know, fun features and everything else. Like when you and I played around with it, and all the, you know, one of the cool things with this job is playing around with all these things and say, hey, does this work?
Yeah.
And then we try to break it and go back to the engineers, Edison, and everybody else, and go, oh, nope, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. So one thing that Dwayne had asked me is, when we were going back and forth and talking about different options. So with all the fun things that are out there, is you can
Oh, I see what you got going there.
So I do things a little bit differently, and I've been fooling around with Zoom and the integration of OBS. OBS is an amazing software, so big shout out to them. So I'm actually utilizing the KDCam and the software through OBS and screen grabbing it, and then using that through a capture device and then coming back in. But you could do anything between the wording and the little titles that you guys were doing there, or like as we started showing before with Jonathan, sorry, I'm juggling two mouse here, is I've hidden everything across the board. It's running the KD Cam app, and then I just basically brought in my lower thirds. And hold on one second. And like Dwayne showed before, is we can move that around to anywhere that we're looking to do. So I can put it above me. Right now, I'm moving around because I'm basically using a green screen and a backdrop so nobody sees the mess on the backside of my broadcast area.
Yeah, and OBS has a virtual camera, right? It's basically, it can be chosen as one of your cameras in Zoom, correct?
You could do that, but I just happen to have a separate PC hooked up to this running to PTZ Cam. Their virtual cam, and I'm not bashing them in any way. There is that huge delay. You've seen it before on other softwares that we've used, the virtual aspect and the delay and everything else. There's a small little delay on OBS the way I'm doing it now, but we're still kind of, you know, playing around, working out the bugs itself. But you know, there's just another typical example of how we can drop in an image, and I just created a quick little image, put it in there, dropped it in, didn't really do anything transparency wise or anything like that. So just another example, but I'm learning more and more at night when I've been playing around with the OBS, what you can do and what you cannot do effectively.
Yeah. Well, it's very cool. And then, you know, I've even come up with a method of doing a PowerPoint while simultaneously having my lower thirds title video, and you know, that has worked out pretty well. We'll put that in some documentation is what we'll do with that, because my computer, you know, just died on me and things aren't as prepared as I'd like them to be. So sorry for that, everybody. But so we've recently updated. We have a number of applications where our Cam USB is being used not as a plug-in to a video conferencing software like this, not as a webcam, if you will, We have this in our medical monitoring system. We have this in our courtroom communications system as well, MMS and CCS respectively. And so you're going to find out more information about the courtroom comms. MMS is currently available on our website right now. You could see more information about that. But it's been a nice addition. I recently upgraded a courtroom just on last Friday, and they were very, very happy with that, because previously we're using our CAM USB as a basically as a video source into an encoder. And the way we're doing that previously was just using the generic Microsoft camera software, which, if you just type camera in your computer, you would see like a white button on the side. And so this, just as we've done here, you're able to go full screen, hide the settings buttons and those sort of thing. And that's been a real nice addition. Not to mention putting the lower thirds there, judges station, witnesses stand, prosecution, etc. So it's been really great. And it's kind of evolved and will continue to evolve with some products we're working on in the future as well to be controlled in the KDCam software. So there you go. You could actually do the lower thirds with any camera, but the PTZ control is only applicable with the KDCam USB.
So one of the other cool things I'll mention, I have a dealer that's working on a project in Ohio. So with these, he has a CAM USB on a little mini PC that's on a network. So he can go through and reach out to it. This particular camera is just, he uses through Zoom feature where we've gone over the second document camera. He uses that now because they have a guy that does pre and post production for all their conference room meetings. He's using the PTZ control. He's not in that room with a couple other people that are social distancing. He can actually go through and remotely PTZ with the app in that room. So when he switches back and forth from the presenter, and then he switches over to the audience asking a question or whatever, he can zoom in and move the camera around right onto him. So it's like now a free app. He's added that too, compared to some of the thousands of dollars of other software and production stuff he was using. And he said, there's no way this is going to work. No way. I was like, download it, went through, tested it. And he's like, wow, this is crazy. So now he's got another option to remotely control a camera that's, in another room where they're all spread out,
And again, that's all over just that USB connection.
Yeah.
From that little mini PC that he's remoting into. And so there you go. Now here's Jonathan doing.
I couldn't, I can't leave good enough alone. I had to go ahead and try to get it started here. Let's see. Let's go. Let's throw on the lower thirds again. Okay. Showing the video without this is just so boring, So let's see. So what I just did was I'm actually doing, it's a pretty cool trick where I'm showing, I'm doing a screen share, I'm doing video, I have a connected USB capture device. And what I've done is I've drug KDCam to an extended monitor. And then I'm outputting that on HDMI, my second monitor. So I'm in extended mode, and then I'm feeding that back into the USB as the camera, and that's how I get this. And that's the trick I wanted to show for doing it over Zoom, having the lower thirds there. We'll get rid of the PTZ control and hide the settings button.
You're able to do this not through the screen share, but through your actual.
Yes. This is basically a video camera. It's I'm doing the KDCam with the preview mode instead of the gray image of our camera. I drag it over to my extended monitor, which is outputting on HDMI, feeding back in on USB through a USB capture device, and now I'm using that as the camera. And the final step, of course, is to double click in the video there. make that full screen. And now, guys, if you don't mind, we're going to just give it one more shot here. We're going to, I'm going to get a screen share going. Let's see. There's just too many fun tricks to not do it, We're going to go to a portion of the screen. Okay. And you should.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Internet.
Now you're seeing me, right?
Absolutely.
You're seeing my lower thirds, and you're seeing a PowerPoint. This is done either one of two ways. One is by doing a screen share of a portion of the screen, and you just size it around your PowerPoint slideshow. Because when you go full screen with PowerPoint, it does that annoying thing right now where it brings you into presenter mode. I personally don't like that and I'm a trainer. I'm in PowerPoint quite often, but to each their own. But that when it kind of messes up your extended monitor, it would mess it up. So that's why this portion of the screen is working well. And the other one more trick I should say. Is to, because right now we see the names, right? Are you guys seeing names, Scott? You see my name, KeyDigital, and we see Dwayne Rain's name?
No, on the broadcast you go through, that's another thing that you and I discovered through the wonderful world of the W, is one thing that we found in the rebroadcast of this is when I'm viewing it, but when I'm looking at it live on Facebook now, it shows our little header.
Yeah, whereas the lower thirds essentially is conflicting with that somewhat.
Correct.
So all you got to do in Zoom is now this is respective to each person who's running Zoom. I see it on my computer. It doesn't mean that Dwayne and Scott see it. By default, of course, you do see the name of each meeting participant. You would go into your Zoom, your video settings, which you could access a few different ways. There's that arrow right by the video camera icon, though. You go into video settings, and you'll see a blue checkbox that says always display participant names on their video. And you could just deselect it and X out of that. And what happens is then it's not always showing it, but if you forget, oh man, what the heck was the name of that guy? I've been working with him for 5 years. I can't remember his name. Well, you can, if you hover over the participant, then you see their name actually. So, okay, so I got to do the trick after all, and so there's a few extra pieces of the puzzle needed to do that in Zoom. Scott using OBS and then using it as a virtual camera, or my method of doing a USB capture device and sharing it as a second or from the second screen is also working well, and allowing you to get to the to show a PowerPoint as well. So just depends on, is this a keynote of just the speaker, or do they also need to show some content? And there's even, we did an episode a few weeks back on some of our latest and favorite Zoom tricks that they've evolved in there. And now I've even seen that you could do like a PowerPoint as your virtual background, which I haven't played with yet, but that one just looks so super cool. Anything else, guys, before? Yeah, Scott, go ahead.
So real quick, I just adjusted the broadcast. So now if everybody's going back and looking, you and I using the KD app banners, they will see a small little dot to the left-hand side. So I removed your name, okay, and just renamed it with a dot. So as I'm watching our live stream at the same time, I have a little dot on my left-hand side. You have a little dot, and then we have Dwayne with nothing itself below him. And
I still have the little dot, but you can adjust your lower thirds maybe so that dot doesn't show up as much, and make it gray to match that little square around it. etc.
Yeah, like,
Definitely
Yeah,
look
through a
great.
PNG image.
yeah. With just like anything that's out there, it's you got to fine tune it. so,
But
so we
the options are awesome. You can make your presentations look so much more professional. I like the idea of creating your own graphic, get that centered up
Yeah.
there, and,
Yeah.
so it looks like your own broadcast network, et cetera. I've done the MLV, and best part about it, it's all free.
Yeah.
It's completely free. Not the camera, but it's as far as cameras go out there for what it does, it's relatively free too, because it's such a good price point. But it's all free, and I think tomorrow, if those of you who follow us on all of our live broadcasts, we're going to be doing Coffee with Keith, talking about other free things. Again, it'll be our last one for the year, and we'll put a mask on it and move on.
Yeah, and so I want to thank my friend Bobby Berry, who gave me a quick rundown on lower thirds and how that could help benefit us with our CAM USB. They do a lot of fantastic work in the corporate side, and right now they have a fantastic business plan where they were previously doing a lot of live event, and what they're doing now is they're shipping out laptops that are fully fully equipped with hardware and software, so that you can they're shipping them to the executives' offices, and they're actually logging in using TeamViewer or whatnot, and doing doing the operating of the keynote from a remote computer. And it's a fantastic business idea for these companies that a lot of live event music instrument rental services have just been absolutely pulverized. I hate to say it so harsh, but it kind of is. So we want to thank Bobby. I'm actually trying to pull up his company name right now. So it's one of those interesting scenarios where I knew the person, and then it wasn't until talking to them for a while that I realized, oh, you're in the same industry as me.
But I mean, now that this has become like such the new norm, you're going to see more things come out. But I mean, Igor and the other amazing team of people that nobody ever sees and don't know they exist other than a name, of adapting and changing and stuff like that. I mean, he's been amazing when we first talked about it, and then poof,
Yeah, Video Destinations is the name of the company. They're out in Long Island City, New York here. So thanks very much to them. All right, guys. Unless we're just waiting for another computer to die or something like that, then I should probably get going. It's going to happen.
Oh man, and we're actually 13 minutes into the state of New Jersey's, emergency state of emergency.
State of New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. So when they started that, like,
you got some urgency in New Jersey. Yeah. Well, what is it? Is it snow related? I don't think
I think it was snow related, and what vehicles could be on the road.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah, it's going to come down for a good day now. So my son's super excited.
Build some really cool snowmans, but remember, when you build your snowman, put a mask on it. So
That's right. You don't want anyone coming along and taking a bite out of their carrot,
And the infamous never eat yellow snow.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Definitely a worthy reminder at the beginning of each season.
Thank you, gentlemen. We will
snow safety. Yeah. Tomorrow on snow safety, we'll be discussing all the items itself. But yeah, tomorrow we have the Fab 3 again on Coffee with Key. So we'll be going over some more fun stuff.
Yep.
Cool.
And so we'll see you there. And thank you guys for everything. This has been a lot of fun. And Everybody go get your KDCam app downloaded for free. POs in to get your KDCam and
Oh,
start having fun like we're having.
exactly. You know, we got to always close it with Jonathan's new famous line. It's like, if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.
Is that me?
I'm out.
All right, guys. See you all tomorrow.